Well, this is our last video in this series, and we're going to make a mixed media painting of a barn. And I'm just going to quickly go over our supplies again. You're going to need a canvas. You're going to need some scrapbook paper. And this time I'm using bigger pieces, so you can get these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think they even have some at Walmart. You're going to need some paint. You're going to need some type of stencil, and these stencils here are what I'm probably going to be using on this one. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm going to do yet, but these are just plastic stencils. You can get those same places: Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart. You're also going to need your decoupage and your palette knives and brushes. And this one, I'm going to put a large piece of paper as our background, and then we're going to paint on top of this. We're going to paint our barn on top of this, and the colors that you choose for this are going to really need to coincide with the paper that you choose. So I'm going to tell you what colors I'm using, but it's really going to be up to you what you decide to do. So my background has some yellows, some muted colors, some reds, some pinks, brown, white, cream. So my paint colors are some of the same ones we've used before. I'm going to use the antique rose. I'm going to use black. I'm going to use white. And I'm going to use some yellow, but I'm going to tone it down a lot with some white paint. And this one I'm also going to use some brown. And I think I'm going to make my barn a pretty light turquoise color. But I haven't completely decided that. So we're just going to get started, and this is just how I usually work, and I make decisions as I go. But here in my paper I've got a really light muted color. It's a bluish green, and I really like the way it looks, but I'm not 100% sure that I can get my paint to mix with it. Now this one is pretty close. It's called Sea Mist, and it's a really close one, so I think I may go with that. So the first thing we're going to do is take your paper that you're planning to use and just tear it so that it will fit on your canvas to cover the entire background. I don't know if you've seen my other e-courses or not, but the method for this one is going to be a lot like my little white chapel. It's a little church building that you paint on top of a paper background similar to this. So just continue to tear the edges off all the way around. And then we're going to use our decoupage, and the easiest way is just pour some out and then spread it. Make sure you get all the way to the edges. You don't want your edges to lift. And if I'm working too quickly for you, just pause the video and do this step and then get back to the video. Okay, and we're going to smooth that out. And you're also going to want to put a layer on top because it gives you a better surface to paint on if you have the top of your paper sealed also. And if you make a mistake, you can wipe it off. That's awesome. So I'm going to do the same thing and just pour a little bit on top. And smooth that out. You could use something like an old credit card to smooth this out. And you're going to get wrinkles, so you're going to have to really work it. Try to get those out. But a few wrinkles are not a big deal. I usually use my hand, go back over it. Another thing that's really good to work on besides a canvas is a wood panel. If you put this paper down on wood panel, it seems to smooth out a little bit better, but those are harder to find. And so I thought it would be easier for you all if we just did it this way. Okay, still got a few wrinkles. But some of them we're just going to have to live with because just add some character to your painting. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for just a minute and let you catch up if you need to. I'm going to use my dryer. Alright. Now I have an idea of what I'm going to do here, but I don't have it all planned out in my mind completely. I just know that I want to put a barn here and possibly a tree here. And the colors that I'm going to use are going to be this blue. I'm going to go with this blue for the barn. So we'll start with it. I'm going to get a paintbrush. For my barn, the basic shape is going to look something like this. It's going to have triangular area here. And then it's going to come down. Rectangle. And then the side of our barn is going to come out like this. So we'll do a square over here. And this is the way that I normally work with basic shapes. If I see something that I want to paint, I try to look at the basic shape of it, and also the color. Okay, and this is going to kind of slope. So it's going to slope down this way. Okay, because our roof, I'm just going to go ahead and do the outline of the roof too. The roof's going to come down like this, and then it's going to slope also like this. We're just going to make it go all the way off the canvas here. And then we're going to have some roof that comes down right here too. Okay. And our tree that we're going to do is going to start here and go up like this. So I'm just getting a basic outline. I may have a few branches. Okay. You could also do this without putting the paper in the background if you don't want to have that look. You don't have to. You could just paint it a solid color and then do this on top. But I'm going to let this dry, or I'm going to dry it a little bit myself with my dryer. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is mix some black and white together and make a gray, a dark gray. Need a little more white. And I'm not going to mix it too much because I want it to still have that marbled look. But this is going to be our roof. And we're going to start here where this line is and just drag it down. And I'm covering up some of where I've placed my tree, but that's okay because I can go back and fix that. Okay, so it's very light so far, but we got this part of the roof done here, and we're going to go over here and just pull straight down to indicate the roof line here. Okay, now we're going to make some doors, windows, and some dark spots here. And I'm going to use just black, and we're going to put a little door, let's say a door right here. It's going to be dark because it's a barn. I'm also going to, see, I'm going to put a window up here at the top, just an idea of one anyway. Just like that. And I'm going to take this black and go right around the edge here to give it a good dark shadow. Add a little bit on the roof here. And I'm going to mix some in with this bluish gray color that I've got for the sides of the barn. And I'm going to pull that across like this. Across here on the front. See, this paper underneath is giving it some really cool texture. Okay. Put some more of this dark down here. I'm going to put some dark over here. And I'm going to also make a line here that shows that's the corner and that's the edge. Down here. I need to go under here where that roof line is. And we've got a good basic shape of our barn now. I think I'm going to make this door a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to take my knife and just cut across like this to make it have some indications of boards. Wood. Alright, I'm going to clean off my knife and we're going to add a little bit of white on here. I'm going to use my palette knife again. I'm going to use the pointed one this time. But I'm going to just lightly pull down some. I'm going to try putting a little bit of this red in there and see if it looks like a, it might give me the look of some rusted tin. Let me try it out here and see what happens. I think I like that. So let's try that. You don't have to, but I'm going to try it. Got a little bit of some rusted areas there. I'm also going to put a little bit of white inside this doorway right here and inside this window right here. And swipe across the side here just a little bit. There and there. Okay, and now I'm going to take the side and I'm going to go across the edge up here. Alright, and there's our rustic barn. Now we're going to work on our tree. I'm going to take a brush and some black paint and go over where we put our tree before. Need a little bit more paint. When you're painting a tree, you need to always make sure that it's bigger at the bottom and gradually gets a little bit smaller as you go up. Same thing with branches. They should be smaller and then get a little bit wider. Okay. I'm going to take the brown and some white, my palette knife. I'm just going to go across like this. Just barely touch. And the branches are going to be a little bit lighter on the top than they are on the bottom. Okay, so there you have a tree in your barn. I think I'm going to add some more fun pieces, maybe a doily. You could add some fun elements like a bird or butterflies. Sometimes I put little mushrooms on my mixed media pieces. For this one, I've got some paper that has some flowers on it. We've already got a few flowers here. You could cut some things like that out and add them. But I think I'm going to add this up here. And I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling. Not very much. So I'm going to use one of these stencils and just add a little bit more up there. So I'm going to put this on first. I changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to stencil on it. I think I'm going to add a little bit of some grassy areas and things like that here. So I'm going to use some of this yellow that I've already got out right here and some of this brown and white that we've got here. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of yellow and I'm going to put in some brown like this. Careful so that I don't cover up what I've already done here. And then I'm going to take some white and the yellow. Okay. And there's our mixed media barn. I'm going to add my initials. And there you go. I really hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you've learned something, that you've created something that you really love. And like I said before, I'd love to see what you made. So send it to me in an email or on Facebook or Instagram, and come back and learn again. You don't have to just take these courses once. You can do the videos more than one time. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.